Welcome. I'm your host, Susan Graw. Join me for an extraordinary journey that surpasses the boundaries of the unknown. I offer insights into this life, the afterlife, near-death experiences, and healing for the soul. You'll receive answers to the questions about where your loved ones are in spirit and a clearer understanding of where we go when we leave this consciousness. The truth of life and the afterlife will be revealed. Join me right here, right now on Infinite Life, Infinite Wisdom. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Infinite Life, Infinite Wisdom, where we talk all things afterlife. I'm your host, Susan Graw. I am an author, a healer, a speaker, an intuitive medium, among other modalities. So nice to have you here. I wanted to talk today about all different kinds of things, but most importantly, I want to talk to you about grief and our codependency and how we get very low in vibrational energy and have a lot of pain in vibrational energy. That's grief energy. And how fear can step into that and take over. So I've got a lot of things I want to talk to you about. So let's take a deep dive. Let's start with grief, because grief is a monster all its own. And we know when I was writing my book, I made a decision to write a second book, which I haven't released yet. And it is about the dark night of the soul, which is a lot of grief over our life journey. And what we find when we're young, when we get into grief, is that we have a tendency to move into codependency. We want others to love us, to heal us, to help us, and we want to help everyone else. And the reason is because we know the pain of loss. We know the pain of grief. It can be a loss as simple as our cat gets sick, to losing our favorite backpack, to leaving our teacher and going to a new year in class. You know, when we're young, it can be leaving our mamas to go to school. There's so many different things that we grieve. And then it can go all the way to the huge loss, which is, of course, someone dying or a divorce or an animal or a beloved creature of ours passes on to the other side. And so grief has a very powerful motivation for us to step into fear base because we can't control it. And I know for me, fear has been a friend in some ways. I mean, fear has said, don't let the car hit me. Don't let that person hurt me. Recognize who they are, those kinds of things. But it also can be our nemesis. And what I mean by that is when I am in fear base, I am usually seeing things very different than what they are. And I am not responding properly, I'm reacting. And what I mean by that is, say someone does something to me, I'm going to react. And I might go at them. I might hide in my room. I might cry. I might disregard my feelings. I'm reacting in a way that says I'm not listening to what I'm actually feeling because I'm so busy trying to react to what they've done. And what I've learned in my life journey is when I respond to situations is when I'm the healthiest and fear doesn't take over. But in reaction, I might do something like type a big long email to somebody who sends me an email that bothers me, and then I shoot it off. And the first thing I say to myself is, damn, why did I do that? What was I thinking? Or an hour later, I'm in panic. I can't pull it back. I can't pull it back because everything in it was a reactionary. And what I'm learning in my life and have learned in my life for the most part, and I don't do it perfectly like everyone, none of us do it perfectly, but what I've learned is to pause, step back, and think about it. And when I do that, I'm not reacting, I'm responding. So when I'm ready to take some action, even a baby step, it's not coming from a place of fear, anger, doubt, shame, whatever it is that's being presented to me or however it is presenting itself to me. I can now come from a place of, I need to respond to this and I need to do it healthily. It's that simple for me. Now, do I do it all the time? No, nothing simple is easy. And I want to make that really clear to all my listeners. Nothing I've ever done that was simple was easy. In fact, life isn't easy. But what I find that is when I react to things, I am doing it from a broken place. It's triggering something in me. So throughout my life journey, I've always wanted to have those best friends that I could trust more than anything in the world, right? And I was different. And I had a really hard time with that. And I came to a place where I didn't care anymore if I had a best friend, but that was much later in life. I just wanted to be the best person I knew how to be. But what I found when I was young was that I was always searching. And so in my search, I was coming across people that were not trustworthy. And I wanted to believe them so bad that they loved me and they wanted to be around me and that they cared about me and they weren't going to do anything to harm me. And they were always broken because I was coming from a broken place. And I have to take on that responsibility. Why do I choose broken people? And I find that when I get around someone that I feel I can't trust, say maybe I feel like when I'm going to walk away, they're going to talk behind my back or they're going to take my share or whatever I've offered them as a trusting friend and use it for their greatest good, especially in the work I'm in, right? So I might share something with someone like something I want to do in the future. And the next thing I know, they're doing it. And my heart just gets crushed. Literally, I feel crushed. And I want to react. I want to jump down their throat, or I want to tell them, how could you do that? How could you be so unkind? How could you take these things from me? And what I've learned in my many years of living life is that it won't work, because people that can harm you will harm you. And if they're willing to do something like that, like take something of yours that means so much to you and go out in the public eye and present it as theirs, if they're willing to do something like that, they're not willing to listen to your pain. But they're willing to push your pain out of the way and say, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and you're overreacting, or I didn't do that. One of the things I've learned, if I make a mistake, I own it. So I don't know if I've talked about that in a previous podcast, but I'm going to give you an example. Not that long ago, actually, I made a statement about someone and I did it with another person instead of going to the person. I felt pretty bad about it, but I didn't cop. I didn't say anything. I was too afraid, right? And that person heard what I said and they confronted me. And I could have denied it. I would have easily been able to. I could have said, though they're lying, I didn't say it that way, or it was out of context, or whatever we do to cover our butts, but I didn't do it. I said to this person, you're right. I did say that. And it wasn't okay. It was wrong of me. And I don't want to be that person. Tell me how I can make this right. I felt so empowered at that moment, and they felt so grateful that they actually said to me, I knew you were who I thought you were, Susan. Who does that? Who says that? When you see something like that in your journey where somebody confronts you, or you see someone else talking about someone else, whatever it is, you can do one of two things. You can be codependent in it. You can try to please them. You can not be truthful and be authentic and honest. Or you can actually say that did happen. I did do that. And I feel badly about that. And I want to make it right. The difference of that feeling next to, I didn't do that, they're lying, or whatever it is we do to get out of it, is night and day. Because when I walk away, it's me I face, not them. I have to look in the mirror. I have to know that I was dishonest. I have to know that I did something I wish I wouldn't have done and I didn't clean it up, really clean it up. So I believe that I learned how to do that through being so codependent, because I was so afraid to tell people, I don't want to have this conversation about that person, or I wanted people to think I was wonderful. And so I would say, this person told me this, and this is going to crack you guys up because this is really true. I had to do this in my life. This person told me this, and I'm only telling you. Right. And then I'd go to the next person. This person told me this, and I'm not supposed to say anything, but I care about you so much and I trust you so much. I'm only telling you. And I'd go from one to the other to the other. If I'm going to tell someone now, I say, don't tell me. I don't keep secrets well. If I feel like I can't hold the information, that's what I'm going to say. And they look at me really strange, like, what? And I go, no, I don't want to carry that, because what if I do slip? What if I don't keep that a secret? What if I can't hold that? But in the past, I was so codependent with people that I wanted them to love me and see all good in me. And I didn't do anything to be bad or be a bad person. I did it because I didn't know that I could do it differently. And I grew up in a dysfunctional family, in a dysfunctional home, and we learned to talk about each other. Even with my own children, I've had to say, you know what, I don't want to talk about your sister. I don't want to talk about your brother. It's been really hard because I want to call them and go, do you know what they did to me? That's what I want to do. But I've learned that it's not working. And I'm pitting my children against each other when I do that. And I'm making myself the right one. And God, I want to tell you, being right never made me happy. I thought it would, but it didn't. I want to be authentic and true and real, and I want that for you. So in our codependency, we are always looking to do for others what they can and should do for themselves. And so we're trying to fix everything as we go along the way. We're trying to make sure they're okay. We're trying to give them the right verbiage, give them the right words, tell them how to do it, which I still do with my kids. I have to say, I still do it. I try not to. And they always tell me, Mom, I can handle it. And I go, of course you can. What's wrong with me? Of course you can. You can handle your life better than I can handle your life. But I forget that because I want them to be safe and be okay. That's my codependency. I can want them to be safe and be okay, but not fix them, not tell them how to do everything. Because what I teach my children when I do that is that I don't believe in them, that I think my way is the best way for them. That tells them they're not capable. So I've learned to try to do it another way. I don't do it perfectly. I say this all the time because I want you guys to know that you will never do anything perfectly. And I want you to know that I'm human, having a human experience, and I'm going to screw up all the time. But my goal truly is to love them. And I don't know if I know how to love them right. I just do the best with what I have, like all mothers do and all fathers do and all children do with their mom and dad. If you think about it, there's no book. The most important thing we do in the world, the most absolute important thing, and we have nothing to teach us how to do it. That's just crazy. Like raising our children, we have nothing. We have gone to Freud, and Freudian people have a very particular way of thinking, which I don't necessarily consider to be the right way, which is moms are always to blame. It's mom issues. I don't believe that. I believe that we all do the best with what we have. And yet we have people who are actually just unkind. I just had an incident where I was going through my social media and I had shared something with someone that I wanted to do in the future. And a couple things actually. And I asked them if they'd like to join me. So I gave them my pitch deck and all kinds of things. And I opened up their social media today and lo and behold, there it was as their idea. I was so angry and sad and upset because I really thought I could trust this person to not do something like that. Then I realized they had done it in a couple areas. It hurt. It did. And I realized I'm codependent with this person because I went to their house. I trusted them without knowing if I should. I thought I could, but I was wrong. And I wanted them to like me and see good in me. And so I gave them more than I should have, and they weren't trustworthy. My heart is still hurting because this happened this morning. And I have to tell you that I wanted to react. I wanted to call and say, I can't believe you did this. I trusted you. I see it on your social media. You took my words. You did this. You did that. Why? What's the point? I had to learn another lesson. And that lesson is not to be codependent with other people and not to share everything. See, codependents walk into every relationship and they'll share their whole life in 5 minutes. And there's a reason why we do that. And this might shock you. The reason codependent, dysfunctional people are people that come from dysfunction, one or the other, even if you're healed, the reason they do that is because I believe that if I tell them everything and they stick around, I'm safe. I told them. So if they find it out later, I'm safe. That's not a truth. It makes you very vulnerable and it puts you in a position to be used and abused. We trust people before they've gained our trust. That's what we do in codependency. So when people would meet me, I would share everything. I have a friend that actually told me I shared everything with her. And if you guys have read my book, Infinite Life, Infinite Lessons, you know clearly that's a lot to share with someone in one sitting when they just met me. And she said she went home and had to look me up because she thought I was making it up. She thought I was lying about all the deaths and the losses and everything I'd been through because she couldn't believe someone would tell her all that. And she thought I was looking for attention or something. It was far from that. It was the furthest thing from the truth. What I was doing was controlling the situation because I knew that I really liked this person. And if I told them everything and they stayed, I was safe. Not true. It doesn't always work out that way. Hear my words. It does not always work out that way. So if you're doing that, if you're meeting people and telling them your life story, you've got some codependency issues. These are things that we let the rope slowly. You don't go in and tell somebody that you've lost everybody in your family to suicide and this is why, and they all had addiction and all these other things that I would share. I mean, on and on and on. I had a very, very difficult journey, like so many of you. I mean, many of us do, but we don't go into a relationship doing that. We go into a relationship not on our best behavior, but in our truth. But we don't share our deepest, darkest selves because we don't know if this person can handle that. So that's another thing I do in codependency. Now, this was years ago, and I've learned so much better, or so many better choices than that. I don't do that like I did, but I still share. But I share a different way. I hold back and I wait. Can I trust this person? Are they trustworthy? Being an intuitive is for others. It doesn't mean that I trust everything I get from me. I go to intuitives. I go to mediums. I carefully go to mediums and carefully go to intuitives, but I do go to them. And a lot of my friends are them because I have to tell you, I don't always trust my own knowing. And I have to pause and ask, what do you think? What's my next right step here? So when this happened this morning, I have to tell you, I cried. I did. And instead of reacting, I let my tears come. And I thought, here I go again, trusting someone that wasn't trustworthy. I'm really sad about that. Does that change the fact that I love them? No. Does it change the fact that they're important to me? No. Does it change the fact that they're my friend? No. What it changes is what I share. Because some friends are meant for a season, some friends are meant for some things in your life, and some friends are deep, deep friends, like best friends, absolutely trustworthy friends, those kinds of things, and you'll share differently with them. But because they can't hold on to your stuff doesn't mean they're bad people. It means they're doing their thing, right? They're broken in some way. But what I find when people take from you, that's not goodness. That's from a lack of abundance for themselves. I wanted to share that because I think I needed to get it off my chest, number one, but I also think it might help you. I really believe that there is a reason why I go through the things I go through, and it's so I can share them with you, and you can grow, and you can respond differently so that you don't go through what I've gone through. Or hopefully, if you have gone through what I've gone through, you've learned like I have that we need to do this differently. So I really believed I could trust this person or these people, and I couldn't. And that is my lesson, not theirs. It's my lesson. So I'm grateful I learned it quickly. I'm sad that I gave something away that was so important to me for my future. And it has to do with my work. It happens to me all the time. And I'm recognizing that I need to change, not them. And I always thought that's not fair. They're the ones that have all the issues, or they're the ones that are doing this bad stuff, or they're the ones that are blah, 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 whatever it is, that I have to change. But in truth, that's the only thing I can change. Me. I can't change anyone else. I can only change me and how I respond. Notice I didn't say react, how I respond. So I've been thinking about it. I'm still not sure how I'm going to respond, so it's not time for me to respond. I know that time will come. And when it does, I will do something. I just don't know what that looks like yet because I'm still emotional about it. And I want to teach you to look at that too, to step back and pause. Pausing is really healthy for us. I talk about on podcasts that love is letting others voluntarily evolve. I say that because others have to evolve at their pace. It's not my job to make them evolve. It's my job to evolve my soul, my heart, my growth. That's my job. And when I do that, I take care of me. So having said all this, I'm hoping that it will help you learn how to take care of you. I know that in my journey, Love has been my greatest gift. I love easily, I love readily, and I forgive easily and readily. That was not always my gift. Love is always my gift. Forgiving is a gift as long as I don't do it stupidly and believe I forgave them, therefore I trust them, which to me, forgiveness and trust always went together. I can forgive you if I can trust you and you've proven me wrong in not trusting you. I mean, then I can forgive you. So I'll go right back into the fire. And I know many of you do that. You'll step right back into that fire. It's like, I forgive you. And then we do it again. We'll tell them our secret, or we'll trust them with some really, really special information, maybe in our business or whatever. I was talking to my husband about it tonight, and I said to him, hey, Dennis, I'm just curious. When somebody, does something and they take from you, do you get mad at them and yell at them? And he goes, no, I learned. Like, what's the point? He goes, I want to. I'm just like you. I want to, but I don't. And he said, but this is the thing, honey. I don't give people my private stuff all the time. I'm careful what I say. And he said, especially in business. He said, when people come from a place of lack of abundance, what are they going to do with that? They're going to take it and run. And you look like you're copying them or following them or cheating them. And he said, that's the game. And I told him, I said, I just don't want to be that way. I don't want to be that person. I'm sure you guys don't want to be that person either. But what he said to me was, you're not that person. You're better than that. And you need to learn not to do that, because that will help you know that information about yourself. Wow. I was stunned. I've always trusted everyone. I've always gone in, I trust you till you prove me wrong. That's my rose-colored glasses. And let me tell you guys, I love my rose-colored glasses. I love them. I don't want to take them off. And they get thrown off of my face and stomped on, and I have to fix them and put them back on all the time. But I still love them, and I'll never throw them away. But what I need to do is clean them so I can see through them clearly. And that's what I don't do. You ever put your glasses on and they're so dirty and foggy that you can't see anything, but you think you are, and you're straining to see what you're reading, or you're straining to see that person's face or whatever that is? That's what I do with my rose-colored glasses. So you can still have life with rose-colored glasses on if that's the kind of human you are, which is usually an empathic energy, but also learning to take care of yourself in that and to clean them so that you can see through them clearly, so that they don't get thrown off your face and stomped on, because that hurts so much. This is what happened today, hurt my soul. Now, your soul can get hurt, but it doesn't get damaged. And I want to be really clear about that. So my soul is what's going to help me heal this. I'm already healing, just talking about it. I hope I'm healing you by talking about it. That's my goal. If we go back to the codependent part, when this person calls me, I don't want to be codependent. I don't want to go, oh, I just love you so much and you're the best, the best, the best. I don't want to do that. I want to just be me. And if the subject gets brought up, I want to be able to directly, honestly, authentically say it without anger, without any other feeling. Just say it and ask the question, why would you do that? That hurt me and I trusted you, and let them live with that. I don't even have to ask the question why. I can just say it hurt me and I trusted you. Those are blow words, right? Someone said that to me and I wasn't trustworthy. That would hit me. Not because they did something wrong. If they said it to me, it would be because I wasn't trustworthy. So remember that being a person of honor is one of the most important gifts you have as a spirit. Being honorable and trustworthy and kind and decent and coming from a place of abundance, you don't have to do it any other way, right? Because you know that your abundance is there for you and you don't have to take anybody else's. But really and honestly, in codependency, we have a tendency to not say anything and let the resentment build. And then we become passive aggressive. And I don't like that. I don't want to be that. I have a hard time with passive aggressive behavior too. I don't really carry it very often. It's really rare for me to come out passive aggressive. But I also want to say this. People that do these things are victimizing us. And let's say they're victimizing you. And then they victimize you for behaving like a victim when you say something. So you don't win. So the best next step is to speak your truth without any expectation of the outcome. Whenever you're attached to the outcome, you're going to do it different than you should. You're going to want to fix it, which is codependency. Now, codependency creates fear-based because we're not being authentic. So we got to keep up with that, right? If we don't say it honestly, we have to remember how we said it, because then we have to say it the same way the next time. And so all this gunk's in our head. Best to be honest and sincere, but do it in a way that speaks to who you are. People do what they do because of who they are. How you respond decides who you are. And I'm going to say this in every podcast, and I do, because I want it ingrained in your brain. No one gets to decide how you respond. And when you let them, they own you. And they twist the narrative. It will become you did something bad. How dare you call me and confront me on something that I didn't even know I did? You did something bad. So really protect yourself in that. Just be true to who you are. That's the best, most beautiful place you can be on this planet. I wish I could do it every day. I wish I could tell you that I'm perfect at it, but I'm not. What I am is honest. And as best as I can be as a human being, right? Sometimes I don't know what I feel. Sometimes I don't know how to respond. Sometimes I don't even know what honesty is in a situation because it's affected me so much that I'm not sitting in truth. That's when you pause. That's when the pause is the most important part, is when you don't know. You know, I have this little saying, when I don't know what to do, I do nothing. Because what I don't know, I can't know. But once I know, I can't not know. And that's so empowering for me because I don't have to blame myself. I didn't know, but now I know. I can't not know. And now I need to do it differently. I don't always know what different looks like. So I have trusted people around me that have actually earned my trust. They've earned it, and I've earned theirs. And so I can talk to them and they help me. If I tell someone this happened, they come out fighting like they want to put their dukes up, because I'm very gentle in spirit. I'm very gentle soul, and they can see that it's hurt me. And being a healer, that's really painful to be hurt like that. Like, I can't tell you how many people, when I do podcasts or I do mediumship, will write to me and say that I'm demonic or what I'm doing is demonic. I want you to hear that word, demonic. That is the darkest of evil possible. It just takes my breath away. And I hear it a lot. And that comes from, I find religion to be absolutely beautiful. And I am all for it if it helps you be a beautiful human being. But that's not a beautiful human being saying that. That's a broken human being, in my opinion, forcing their judgment on someone else to the point of being cruel. I hear it a lot, and I get messages that they're going to pray for me and pray that I find God. I have God and Buddha and Krishna and all of them. I believe in all of them because they all come from the beauty of healing people. Or Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, all of them. I have this little saying, God is good, orderly direction, G-O-D. It's a direction we take towards goodness and light and beauty and love. Highest vibrational energy in existence is God, good, orderly direction. I can't tell you God is a being, but God is an entity. It is a force beyond understanding. And until you're in that energy, it's hard to understand the energy. You see, I didn't just experience other people and angels and all of that. I got to experience that love, that light, that energy. And I have throughout my journey in my readings and other experiences that I've had that I never share on podcasts. Someday I may share the rest, but I share some of it in my new book coming out. And it's stuff I've never opened the door to before because it's so personal. And in fact, for those of you that have read Infinite Life, Infinite Lessons, I want to tell you that I actually have a chapter 14 that I never released. And it is all about the return to this world. What is it like for people who have near-death experiences? What is it like for them to come back here and reintegrate? What does it feel like? Because we talk all about the love and light, and everyone wants to hear how it was so beautiful and amazing, and we've grown, and we this and we that. But what about the pain? And that's what I talk about. So if you go get the paperback of Infinite Life, Infinite Lessons, which is out right now, you will be able to take that receipt, go to my website, enter in the receipt number, and it will send you chapter 14. And then you'll get a Zoom link with that. Don't lose it, because that Zoom link is going to be a 2-hour session with me talking about chapter 14, reintegration, and the book and your questions. It's like going to be a party. We're going to have an Infinite Life, Infinite Lessons closing party, because my new book will then be coming out at some point. And also, I just want to show you guys this. For those of you that can't see it, this is amazing. It's in Turkey. So my book is now international. It's in Spain and Turkey, but I got the Turkey book. I got it. That sounds so funny. I got the Turkey book. I got the book in Turkish. And I'm really excited to go through it and really look it over, but it's kind of cool, isn't it? I just can't even believe it. My book in another language, and other languages, actually. I hope it gets into Hindi. I know they're selling it in English. I'd love to see them do it in Hindi, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. It looks like it's going that direction. I want to go back to fear base. So in codependency, we definitely resonate in a lot of energy of fear. It is one of the unfortunate things we do when we are codependent, because we fear not being loved. And when you fear not being lovable or worthy or enough, let me just tell you, that is the worst kind of lowest vibrational fear. And I have had it on and off my whole life. My whole life. Even in my work, sometimes I'll say, I didn't do that right. I need to do that different, or I didn't do it good enough. That is part of my codependency, that I keep thinking I've healed all the way, that I know I haven't. None of us have. I think when we leave here, we'll be healed all the way, but not while we're here. But ultimately, doing that to myself isn't very kind. So I'm working very hard on it. And it's not always easy. I hope you're being kind to yourself. I hope you're being generous and gracious to yourself. And knowing that you have this brokenness, we all have it. And that no one is perfect in what they do on this planet. If we had perfection, we wouldn't need to be here. And to forgive yourself for everything. Forgive yourself. Carrying anger at yourself or self-hate or harming yourself in any way is not self-forgiveness, and it doesn't serve you in any form. So forgive yourself. If you've lied, forgive yourself. Fix it. If you've cheated, forgive yourself. Fix it. Do something different. If you hurt someone, fix it. And you'll find that in fixing that, you're a better person. I'll share this story. Years ago, I was rejected by a group of women. It was many, many years ago, and it broke my heart. I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was just on my mind 24/7. Every time I called someone, I would talk about it. And one day I heard in my head, it was the greatest gift that was ever offered me, and I should take it as a compliment. And I thought, what does that mean? Are you kidding me right now? They went out and talked about me to a bunch of people, and they hurt me, and they walked away from me, and they said things that weren't true. And it had to do with the fact that they were speaking about other people's children. And I said, I don't want to be in this conversation. We're talking about children here. And it insulted them because they didn't want to look at themselves. But I personalized that when they rejected me. And what I realized was that it was the greatest of compliments. And I want you to remember this if you've been rejected or treated poorly. The greatest compliment in the world is when someone does that, because it means you're not like them. People only treat other people well or have them in their circle when they are like them. And you have to ask yourself, do you want to be like them? My answer is unequivocally no. I want to be kind. What's your answer? It is the greatest compliment. Be with the people, your tribe, that you are like, and that you feel that you resonate in the energy of, and that they resonate in your energy. And you'll find that your world unfolds better. I have 3 people in my life outside of my family that I trust, regardless of what happens, maybe 4. And that's it. That's as far as it goes. that I trust unequivocally with everything. And when I feel pain, I call them. Have those trusted friends. And if you don't, speak to spirit, because you can always trust them. Always. I hope this podcast helps you in some way on your journey. Sometimes think I should have other people on my podcast so you can hear from them. And I may do that ultimately. But right now, I just want to share my wisdom. What I've learned over years, decades of pain, suffering, joy, peace, love, hate, rejection, invitation, grace. I've learned a lot of wisdom throughout my life journey because I've been through so many things, as many of you have. And I hope you're sharing your wisdom with others, because there's nothing more beautiful than giving away what you carry, especially when it resonates in others' soul and helps them grow. Even one person matters, because it rolls downhill and uphill. So be there for others. Be there for yourself first. That's not selfish. I picture this pendulum. And on one side of the pendulum, you know that ride at the fairs where you sit in the boat and it goes up really, really high, and then it stops down in the middle, and then it goes up really, really high the other way. I call that the pendulum or the boat. And on one end is selflessness, and on the other end is selfishness, right? And we believe when we're selfless, we are being selfish. And when we're selfish, we're being selfless. I think we believe that too. But in truth, we want to get to the middle, which is balance. It's okay to take care of yourself today. It's okay to be a little selfish. We truly believe that selfish is bad, but it's not. Being selfless is not healthy. We don't want to just give and give and give and give and never refill ourselves. And if you want to be a good giver, you have to refill. But there is a balance. You have a little bit of selfishness and a little bit of selflessness, and you share. And that's where the beauty lies, is right in the middle. And you know, when you're on that boat that swings way high and way low, you're just an anxiety mess. But when you're in the center and it stops and it's calm and you're on the ground, the anxiety goes away. So try to find your balance in that. Maybe that'll be of help. Do the visual in your mind. I think it'll help you. I have Infinite Soul Sanctuary, and I hope that you're all going to check it out. We'll be posting more about it in the near future. It's really wonderful. I go on once every month and I do teaching. And I come on live and we do a Zoom, everyone that's in the sanctuary. And I try to help them grow and expand as they're helping me grow and expand. You know, it's a shared journey. We're not singular in the journey. It's a shared journey. Where we're singular is with grief, because no one can grieve the way we do. Everyone grieves differently, but in our journey, we're not. So it's a shared time. So infinitesoulsanctuary.com, and you can check it out and see what you think of it. It's pretty cool. And don't forget, my book, Infinite Life, Infinite Lessons, is in paperback. And when you get it, you receive chapter 14. You cannot get chapter 14 if you don't buy the paperback. I'm sorry for those of you that have the hardback that didn't get it. You got other things. I did a 13-month, and my last one is this month, actually, 13 months of Zoom coming on and talking about the book. I may do that again. I don't know. I loved it so much. I may do it again. But for now, you get chapter 14. If you have the book, give it away or take it with you to travel somewhere. You know, that'd be a nice thing to do with it. So anyway, it's lightweight and smaller, but it's wonderful. It's really pretty, actually, and soft. I love it. Thank you so much for supporting me in Hay House and for listening to this podcast. I'm so grateful to you that you take the time to hear me. And I'm even more grateful to Spirit that some of what I say actually resonates and helps you heal. Follow me on Susan Graw Official on Instagram. I'm actually answering questions right now. Right now, I'm filming this, so it will be later, but it will come out in a couple of weeks, but I'm going to be doing it again when this comes out. So come and visit me, come see me, and get that paperback. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And I hope this helps you heal just a little today and lets you know that you're valuable, you're lovable, you're capable, and you're enough. Take care of you. I loved our shared time together during this extraordinary soul journey on Infinite Life, Infinite Wisdom. Until next time, may the infinite wisdom we've uncovered guide you on your own unique path. Please don't forget to hit the follow button so you don't miss any new episodes. My book, Infinite Life, Infinite Lessons, is available now. Wishing you healing and love until we meet again. This is Susan Graw. Remember, they are only a heartbeat away. Take care of you.